All
All right.
right, perfect. How you doing, Nathan?
Oh, very well, very well. Thank you. Glad to be here.
All right, excellent. Glad to have you. All right, so I'm excited to do this. This is different. This is outside of my normal sphere. You're not my usual guest, but we're gonna do this anyway, and see what we can learn from you, young man. So
Hey.
um, for everybody who is listening to the stream here today, and anybody who comes regularly to hear what I have to say, please tell them who is Nathan MonPremier.
So I am currently enrolled in high school. I'm in grade 12. I just recently started this business. I love sports. I've been playing sports throughout my whole childhood. I've played hockey, basketball. I ran track, swimming, lacrosse, you name it. I've played it. And I've this past year I've played at the highest level of hockey. I played for the AAA Grads. I was the team captain of my team, and this past year I've decided to focus on my brand and my business. And since then, when COVID started, I really wanted to start something. I was always interested in business, but I didn't know what to do, and so I came up with this brand, and here we are now.
All right, so then tell me, what is the Hope is Famous brand? What is that?
All right, so Hope is Famous. It means it's a brand dedicated to the dreamers and the leaders of the world, people that are willing to surpass, the others and to really conquer their dreams. It's dedicated for people that aren't like the rest of the people, and they have big aspirations. So hope. Um, I want to bring hope to people during this time. It started during COVID, like I said, and is famous. Hope is around us. It's something we should all have, should all share, and that's all. It's all it's what about. And I want to spread positivity around us, and I'm really building a great community of people that have the same mindset. And yeah, so that's what it means.
Okay, that's a very noble concept, but you could have done anything like around that idea of hope. You could have done anything around the idea of inspiration for people. Why specifically did you want to create a brand, right? Why did you want to create a product around that idea?
I've had a lot of challenges and things I've faced in my life, so I've had a lot of knowledge about things like that and messages I wanted to spread to people, because I feel like what I know, like maybe I can inspire someone, and I want to be a role model. And the best way was to create something and to create a brand, so basically a page. And then I was kind of like, what if I just, start a brand, put my thing on a t-shirt, and what if someone likes it? And it just kind of took off. I like business and I had a message, so I just put it together, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
All right, man. Ground level grinding. I like that and I respect that. So that leads me to my next question. All right. So you're 17. Okay. Um, why is it that Nathan Monpremier, 17-year-old hockey player, why is it that you are creating this brand instead of doing things that 17-year-olds are doing? Call of Duty, Fortnite, Among Us. Why are you not doing that?
I've
Why are you
definitely
not taking headshots, bro?
to be completely honest, I do love playing video games, but the reason that I wanted to do this is because I feel like the earlier I start, the more time I'll have to perfect my brand, to learn about marketing, reach out to more people. I feel like when, because I'm young, it's easy to reach out to like old teammates, old coaches, and it's people really like to see, someone that's young. So it's easier to support. And the reason why I'm not really, I don't really party, I don't really,
Hey,
do the
hold on one
average
second. Just say
yeah,
hello. Ryan say hello to Swayze, baby.
Swayze. Good.
Swayze baby came on. So
What's
sorry.
good?
Okay, I didn't want to interrupt, but I just wanted to let you know he
Yeah.
stopped by. All right, so carry on.
Yeah, so the reason I'm so, motivated about this brand is because I love it. I'm in love with what I do. I love what I've done so far. I've been able to connect with old friends, and I've have people that friends and do scooter and do basketball and from all these different sports. So I can just bring all these people together, and they really love the message. So they keep spreading it. So it's all love. I do this out of passion, and it started off like kind of as a hobby, but then over like I hope that one day it can become a full-time job. So it's really fun. Like I enjoy what I do, and I could talk about this later, but I actually create my products myself at home. I have the gear at home.
Don't worry, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. But I have to say two things, in response to what you just said. So number one, and these are very, very wise words, man, and something that I'm happy to hear you say at this age. You can't buy back time. Okay, the most important resource that you ever have is time. And so you saying to me, oh, I want to start when I'm young because that gives me more opportunity to practice, to learn, to soak in knowledge and grow. That that is like, if anybody should take anything from this conversation, any young people, this is what you need to be hearing, right? And people need to know and understand that. So I was very, very pleased to hear you say that. The other thing that I just want to say is that, man, the mindset that you have is amazing. If I knew what I knew now at your age, right? Then I think, oh my goodness, the world is incredible, right? Like you could achieve anything, and I think that you wanting to do this at your age, I think is an amazing, amazing thing, and I am so happy to see that you're doing that. And I wish there were more kids like you. I say kids, you're a young man, but I wish there were more young men or young women like you who wanted to do something like this, man. Because it just, this is what we need, more of this in the world today, more of this, right? So, what then? Okay, so thinking about what it is that you want to create and how you want to connect with people. What are the key foundations of your brand? I'm assuming hope is one because that's in the name. But what are the key foundations?
The key foundations are um, their hope, as you already mentioned, and basically like I want people that follow my brand is I want to motivate them, and I want to bring them inspiration for their goal. To be more in depth with that, the key foundations are, like to bring people's passions out, to help them find their passion and stay true to it and accomplish their goals.
Excellent, excellent. So you talked a little bit about life challenges, right? And you and I'm not making light of this in any way, shape, or form. I just, when I think about your age, you're 17, and I think, yo, man, I'm three times this brother's age. And I want to, like, what life challenges is he talking about? What has he had coming up to this point in his life? So please tell us, what are some of the life challenges? We don't necessarily need to get the super, but what have you experienced in your life?
So some of the challenges I have faced were tough coaches. Um, I've had tough coaches in my past to give me like a role, and to be a leader, and it was hard to lead a team. I've also like it was hard to because I would play like 5, 6 times per week, and to balance my sport, my passion with school. It was at a point where I kind of had to choose, which what am I gonna focus on for the future. So as a challenge, you had to kind of like that was kind of one of my challenges that I faced, because I had to give up something or do something a little bit less to focus on something that's greater for the future. And this brand really helped me in like my transition with that, because this is what I want to do in the future. So that's one of the challenges I faced.
Now, when you talk about your tough coaches, okay, do you think that when you look at them being tough, do you think that that was unnecessarily so, or do you think that that was something that was beneficial and helped you in your development?
I think that while I was being coached, some of the coaches I had, they're used to being taught and coached to the old-fashioned type of coaching style, so they kind of brought that on. They brought it back, and it's not really my preferred way of being coached, but I feel like person that I can face more people and challenging personalities. It's helped me become tougher mentally. And while I was being coached, being under so much pressure, and coach yelling, or fans telling me what to do, and you just try to do the right thing. But I had to learn that if I'm not happy doing something, then there's no point of, what I mean, like if that passion is gone, then you just do something else. So I kind of refound my passion in this brand, and that's why I'm so motivated for it.
Excellent, excellent. Now, one of the things that you mentioned was deferred rewards, right? And this is something that I talk about frequently whenever I talk to fellow business owners or people who are sort of in my age demographic. Okay, and we talk about this when we talk about the millennials, or we talk about Gen Z, or I'm not even sure what your age of kids is called. But we talk about how social media is wonderful because it has allowed us to reach out to people that we might not otherwise be able to communicate with. We can speak to people in other countries, speak to people around the world. I do this with people around the world instantaneously. So on that hand, it's good. But on the other hand, social media is bad. It's a double-edged sword because it allows everybody to see and look at what everybody else is doing. And oftentimes, a lot of what we see on social media is not real. It's made up. It's fake. People, oh, I just woke up. I look so ugly, and it's a photo shoot type of thing. So social media has caused young people, oh, not just young people, people in general, to be able to expect things to be perfect and expect things right away. So you talked about deferred rewards, and I have a two-part question. So number one, did you find it difficult to invest yourself in something that has a deferred payout, right? And so number one, did you think that was difficult? And number two, how do you feel about the fact that the reward that's associated with creating this brand is over the horizon, man? It's not right in front of you. You cannot see it. So how do you think about those two things?
Well, for your first question, I feel that uh, I just see so much potential in my brand. I just believe in it so much that investing in it was just one of the first steps I had to take for it to go somewhere. so it wasn't difficult to invest in it. But I had to earn, I had to earn a dollar to invest in my business, and it's something I still do, and I was still doing it moving on. But investing in my business, I have a lot emotionally invested as well, like my time and the video shoots. It's not just like a financial type of investment. So it's just I love it so much that it's not it's I do this like it's not very hard to invest in it because I love it so much. So and for your second question, I don't see I don't it's not a super successful like Nike, Adidas type of business as of right now, but I definitely see it in the next 5 to 10 years if I keep applying the same type of commitment that I show right now. It's something that I really believe in, and because I started young, I've learned a lot so far.
Mm-hmm.
And when I just keep finding mentors like you and people around me to make me learn more. It's leading more towards a nice future for this business.
For sure, for sure. And do you think that, you know, your tough coaches help prepare you for that struggle? Let me give you an aside for a second. What I told you before before we started it, when I was in university, I played football at Western, and when I was leaving high school and I wanted to go to a school, I decided I wanted to go to Western, even though I wasn't recruited there, because Western was one of the best schools in the country at that time, and I wanted to play football at the best school. And the coach there at that time, and all through my career, his name was Larry Haler. He's the winningest CIS football coach. Well, it's not CIS anymore, U Sports. And I remember hating Larry Haler because he was a tough old school coach, right? He was very, very, things with him were black and white, and you had to work hard. And I used to hate that man. But I also loved that man. And when I was finished, I used to think of things that he would say to us before practice or after practice, before games, after games. And those things stuck with me, right? And when I was a coach, coaching football, I coached both of my sons at JV and senior varsity and high school. I said the same things to my kids, right? Or to the other kids that I was coaching. And I still think of those lessons that I learned during football now. And they even though it was hard, man, it held me true to my goal and true to my path all throughout. So do you think, and maybe it hasn't, but do you think that what the fire that you have been through with your sports career has helped prepare you for this thing?
Yes, it definitely has. Um, there was a lot of tough times where I didn't like it anymore because I felt like it was too much. Very frustrated that something that I loved so much had become like less of a passion for me, and it just made me re-question, why am I doing this if it's not one of my passions anymore? So being frustrated at the way I was um, being coached definitely made me. It helped me stay like find a different kind of route to where because I was still like I would put the work in hockey as well. I would train a lot during the
Mm-hmm.
summer, during the year. So that drive, I still had it. I just knew that I had to refocus it somewhere else that I could put the same amount of time in. So it helped me in a way that I had to kind of let it go and go somewhere else. So it definitely did help me to have those challenges.
And this is Black History Month, and I don't want to make this a racial issue, but when you think about how you were treated, is it you were treated that way because that's how they treated everybody? Were you treated that way because you were in a leadership position and they wanted to make have you set an example, or were you treated that way, do you think, because you know, you're obviously a person of color, so, or was it a combination of those things, or is it just that's the way they treated everybody?
I think that's just the way they did everybody. I think they saw potential in me, and the way that they wanted to maybe bring something out of me more was to coach me in a way that would make me frustrated, and I didn't enjoy that way of coached. And but I don't know, there wasn't any issues with because of my race. There was like from other teams, but never from one of my coaches.
Okay. Now, here's a question. You know, I had many struggles going through my orthopedic training, and when I think back, sometimes people, there was many times where I thought I wanted to quit. Okay, and oftentimes people will ask me this question, and if my wife is around, it drives her nuts, my answer. And the question would be, knowing what you know now, about what you experienced when you were training, if you had to do it again, would you go through it? If you knew that that was what was coming. And I always tell them the answer, yes, I would do it. And and my wife doesn't, she doesn't like that answer, because it was hard on me, it was hard on my family, my wife and my children. And but I have to say yes. And the reason why I say yes is because that is the fire that forged what I am today. Okay? And if I had gone another path, would I be here interviewing you? Would I be here doing videos on YouTube? Would I be here as an orthopedic surgeon? Right? I don't know. And so, but what I do know is that I went through that fire. It sucked. Yes, it did suck. But I went through that fire and I'm here now. And so that's what I know. And if I had to know that that was coming to make it to this spot here right now, then I would do that, you know. So my question to you is, these things suck, you know, it wasn't good, but you know, if that was the only path to make it to where you are now, Hope is Famous, would you do it again?
100% I will do it again, because I feel when you go through something that's when you're at a low point, there's only you can only go up from where you are. And had I not gone through my struggles, I would probably not have as much fire and dedication to going towards this brand.
There you go. All right, I like that. All right, so let's go to a lighter topic here. So the colors that you have chosen for your brand, are they of particular significance? Why have you chosen them?
Well, they are the Canadian colors, red and white, and that's they are my favorite colors, like red, black, and white. That's just my three favorite kind of colors. It's not really that deep of a meaning, but and it's Canadian colors as well. And I want to keep it those three colors. Maybe in the future I'll have some different types of colors, but as of right now, I like how it looks. I feel like it's really original.
For sure, man. And you want to have, you know, you create a brand, you want to have something that's iconic, something that's memorable, and certainly those three colors, I think, achieve that goal. So let me ask you, how are you, you know, you talked a little bit about community. So tell me, how is it that you're building community around your brand? How are you doing that?
I'm bringing people together from different sports. Also, one of my niches are public speakers and people that want to make a change, like with racial injustices. So it's not only sports and athletes. That's just what I've been promoting so far. But I've been bringing people together because I've been sharing this message of hope, and especially during COVID, people want that. I've had people reaching out to me saying, yo, when I wear Hope is Famous, I just remember that one day everything is gonna be back again, and I give people hope. So, just those messages itself is what keeps me going. Not even it's not even really about the sales. I just like the feeling of just inspiring someone else that's going through something. It's just that's what it's all about to me, for real.
Okay. So you talked a little bit about your 5-year plan, 10-year plans.
Mm.
So let's go a little bit more into detail about that. Okay. So tell me, what is your 5-year plan? You see Hope is Famous 5 years down the road. Um, what's going on with that?
Okay, well, I want to turn it a 6 to 7 figure business, and I want
Okay.
to open a physical store one day.
All right.
Yeah,
And when you think about a physical location, let's be more specific. Is that a standalone store? Are you going to be in a mall? Like what is it that you see?
I see it somewhere downtown in Ottawa, beside the main kind of downtown area. I see a basketball floor. I see clothes on the side. I see a basketball hoop, and I see some different type of sports incremented into my store, and that's why I really see I want it to be somewhere where it's obvious where what the message is for my brand. So that's what I see.
Okay. And are you eventually hoping that this is like a local brand, an Ottawa brand, or are you hoping that this becomes bigger than that? This becomes international?
Yeah, but
Okay.
I really wanna take over Ottawa,
Yes.
and when it's more based like once I want people to think of Hope is Famous. Oh yeah, the brand from Ottawa, you know, and then grow from there. Go to like a different province or town. Like maybe I have a store in Toronto, I have a store in Montreal, and then eventually go over the border. And but I'm definitely I know that that takes a lot of time, and so that's I'm young, so I have a lot of time, so that's not one of my worries.
All right. So you're 17 now, and you got your five-year plan. So eventually, this is going to become your full-time occupation, right? But I don't know what your short-term plans are. Are you planning to go to university?
Yeah, I've got an offer from the Telford program at the business program at Ottawa U. So
Yes.
that's what I'm towards as of right now. I'm still in grade 12, so
Yes.
also looking at Algonquin has a good business program as well. So pretty much I know I'm studying business. It's just a matter of where.
Okay. So tell me, in the interim, when you're studying business, whether it be at Algonquin, Ottawa U, or anywhere else for that matter, how is it that you're going to be doing this brand? How are you going to be running that?
Well, I'm running it pretty well right now. I go to school full time. I just had school today. Like I did some work in my basement today. Like it's since I play less hockey now, I'm
Hmm.
able to spend a lot of more time creating products, creating Instagram stories, designing. So it's just something like I can just do whenever I have spare time or when I don't have homework. So and I enjoy it. So it's not a problem.
Okay. So one of the things that you had said to me early in the conversation and beforehand when we were offline, you were talking about, this is something that you do. It's hands-on. You do it yourself, right? So if that's the case, um, walk us through the process, man. Like, You know what I mean? You have the stuff at home to do this. Where do you get your supply from? Have you hooked up with a supplier, Alibaba, or are you using Canadian products? How's that working, young man?
I am using a Canadian provider for, so I just get like a plain t-shirt or a plain hoodie. I won't give out my source just
Hmm.
because I like to keep it that way.
Of
So
course.
basically, this software where I'm able to design, the lettering, the logos, and then I have this machine that I'm able to put vinyl inside. So
Yes.
that allows me to cut the letters, and then basically it'll come out like in a sticker. So then I'll place the sticker onto my plain product, a hoodie,
Hmm.
and then put all of that in my heat press machine.
Yes.
After that, basically I just put it in like 10 seconds, take it out, and then I'll just peel off, the vinyl, and then it just comes out like that. I'll let it like cool off a little bit, and it's like that. Boom, man. It took me a while to learn, but I've gotten
Hmm.
so good now that it's fun. I enjoy it.
And why did you choose to go vinyl route as opposed to silk screening or anything else?
Um, uh, I guess it was just a preference. Uh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Um, I like doing it myself because I feel like when it's really me that's doing it, I put more effort into it. I care more about my products to make them look like if there's a letter missing or it's crooked, I won't sell it.
Hmm.
And I feel like it comes more from me. It feels better to create something and sell it than to have someone else doing it and then sell it. So I like it better this way. And also, I can do it whenever I want.
Hmm. But certainly, as you plan to grow this, right, to become potentially a 6 or 7 figure business, and when you scale it, you won't be able to do everything, right? At
Mm,
some point, you're
yeah,
going to have to establish some kind of quality control process, right? Because you're going to have when you scale the business, you'll have to have people that are doing it, and you'll have to have some way of making sure that they do it up to your standards, right?
yeah,
So, speaking of which, now, um, you want to grow to be five to six, or sorry, 6 7 figures. You have 5 10 year plan. um, that's general. Do you know specifically, how you are going to grow yourself?
yeah. What I'm working on currently is reaching out to influencers like athletes or public speakers, and get them to wear my stuff, speak to them, build a connection with them, and just get them to share the content. Usually when I give people my brand, they have a personal connection with it. They're like, Hope is famous, so all that, it has a deep meaning to it, so it's easy to get people to wear it. And so that's how I'm gonna grow it. So basically just giving it to people you know who can share it.
All right. Excellent. Excellent. And so you sort of answered my next question a little bit there. And but what I want to know is, are you planning to do collabs in the future? And obviously, I guess the answer is yes. So when you think about your collabs, your future collabs, so tell me, um, I can wave a magic wand. I can do that right now. Well, I really can't, but if I could, who are the 5 people that you would love to collab with so that you could, you know, get the word out that Hope is famous?
Hmm. You know what? I'm gonna say LeBron James. I know it might not be possible, but
This
uh,
is, hey, listen, where you got to shoot for the stars, man, and because sometimes you land in the clouds, right? So LeBron, all right.
hmm, that's a good question. Uh, I'd love to see Usain Bolt wear my gear because I feel like he would represent. it very well too. Who else? That's a tough question.
Give me one more.
Uh, I would say the man himself, Chris Rayner. He would be a great.
I am flattered, man. I am
Yeah,
flattered.
yeah.
So now let me ask you something, because when you talk about the people who you ideally think about, right away, two sports icons come to mind, right? You also talked about public figures in that, and this is just something that just popped up at the moment here. Um, you didn't mention anybody who is a rapper or that type of celebrity. Um, is that intentional, or or like, yeah, like why is that? And just because I would have thought, oh, he's gonna say Drake, or something like that, but no, right? And so I'm just curious. Um, Sports figures, but not entertainers, at least not initially. Why is that?
Because I feel that people that would follow LeBron follow his values and his grind. They know about what he's been through. So my message for my brand is to give people inspiration, and I feel like Drake or some rappers' fan base, like people that just listen to music, might not have that kind of niche that I'm looking for in my audience, because I really want to reach people that want to grind and to get better, and just like people that listen to music is not really. So I have to be very specific on who I choose to grow my brand, or else it just won't work.
For sure, man. And again, this is, there's you've impressed me with a few things that you've said tonight, but this is also something that I think is very important. And I wasn't always an entrepreneur. I was just a football player and then a surgeon, and I became an entrepreneur late in life. But there's things that I'm learning as I go, and one of those things is to know, like, you can't sell to everybody. You can't sell to everybody. You can't please everybody. So you have to know what your niche is, right? You need to focus on a niche, create your spot in that niche, master that. And once you have mastered that, then you can expand beyond your niche. And so I think that's very extremely wise at this point in time for you to say, I wasn't trying to put you on the spot, but it's just something I noticed from your response, right? And I'm sure if I asked 10 other kids, they might say, oh yeah, Drake, or so this person, so and so and so, all these entertainers. And I think that it's very sage, very wise that you understand this idea of having to um, be very selective with respect to your niche, and to very selective with respect to your community, and to grow passion within that community. And then once you have a passionate community that supports your brand, do or die for your brand, represents your brand, then you can go out into the wider world and try to take on other niches, man. So I think that's very, 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 very astute observation, and I think that that's very wise thinking on your part. So I like that. I like that.
Thank you.
So, with all the questions that you've answered tonight, we've got to learn a little bit about Nathan MonPremier. So I'm quite happy that we've delved a little bit into the Hope is Famous brand. Last question. Well, not a question, but last thing that I'm gonna ask you to do. So for everybody who's listening, where can they find you? Where can they learn more about the Hope is Famous brand? And if they want to pick up some merch from the man, how do they do that?
Well, I have a website, hopeisfamous.com. If you want to pick up some merch, um, yeah, I won't give out my address right here, but send me a DM or send me a text. I'll be glad to personally give you some merch and show you how I even get it started, create my products. I'd be more than happy to.
Okay, excellent. So you heard that, people. You can check out the website, hopeisfamous.com, and please look this man up on Instagram, follow him online, and if you are in the 613, you know what to do. Go cop it, because it's hot.
Yes,
All right?
sir.
So for everybody who stuck around and listened to this evening, thank you very much for participating. You guys were amazing. Nathan, stay here on Zoom once I close this down. And as always, that's been a word from Dr. Chris, not your everyday ortho. Peace, everybody. All right.